Hello, today we're going to talk about how to program observations using Las Cumbres Observatory telescope network. So first, you have to go to lco.global. Then go to Observers, Observing Portal. You must have an LCO account to be able to program observations. Great. You log in with your user and your password, and you get this screen. So here you can see your observations, the ones you have made, or if you're a new user, it's going to be blank. Okay. So when it says completed, it's because the observation was successful, canceled, or any other red means the observation wasn't completed and you must have to repeat it. Great. Now go to submit observation. So this is the form we use to program the observation. There are two forms. One is more basic, but we're going to use this one. And we're going to explain the most used features of this form. So you start with the name. You can put any name you want. Let's say planet, right? You can also put codes or dates, whatever you want. Proposal. You have an LCO account and you must have telescope time, so you must be added to a proposal. In this case, we're going to select one. Okay, mode. Here is explaining or asking you to select, is it a normal observation or do you need a time critical rapid response because an impact is happening and you need the software to just take the image right now. So you choose. We're gonna go with the default. IPP factor is for people who has multiple has been added to multiple proposals. So here is just because you need to have a priority over other proposals. The acceptability, it means how much of the observation is good for you to be completed. In this case, they always suggest 90%. That you can put lower values or 100%. It's up to you. Okay, it's asking also, do you want a mosaic in lines, grid? This is used for objects that don't fit inside the camera, the field view of the camera in the telescope. So you can create a mosaic. Then observation type is image. Our instrument is 0.4 meter. We have access to those telescopes through the Global Sky Partners program. If you have access to others, then you can select. Guiding is when you have an observation with high exposure time, and as the telescope moves, when it's tracking the object, you want to choose guide on, so the telescope and doesn't affect the image too much, the movement. Okay, now let's go to configuration. So how many images do you want? 1, 2, it's up to you and what you are trying to image. So let's say 1. Now let's go to exposure time. So first you must already know what object is the one you're trying to study, okay? So let's go to the calculator. You must know the magnitude of that object. In this case, let's suppose it's 7.7, okay? Select the telescope, and you must check the moon. What phase is the moon right now? Let's say half. The filter, for example, B, and the exposure time, let's say 10 seconds. Let's see. It says no, saturation may occur. Consider reducing the exposure or the focusing the telescope. So it's up to the object and what you want to accomplish with this observation. Okay. So try to have those data beforehand. Let's say 2 seconds. What filter do you want to use? Let's say B. The focus, like the calculator was saying, high exposure times can saturate the image. So either you lower the exposure time or defocus the image. So it might be like a little blurry, and if you're trying to image stars, they may look like donuts. So it depends on what you are trying to do, like curves, or what do you want to do. Okay. If you need different filters, you just have to copy. And here in the second configuration, you just change the filter. You don't have to do another form just to have a different filter. You just copy. Okay. And you can change the times, the count. It's up to you and what you want to do. The target. You must already know your target. Let's suppose this is the one we're going to use. And if the target is on the database, it's going to fill the form automatically. Okay. But if not, you have to write this whole information by hand. Great. You can leave these constraints like this. Air mass, as you know, is the amount of air between the telescope and the atmosphere. Okay, so usually it's 1.6, but you can click here to know more, and if you want to change it. Minimum lunar separation means it's in 30 degrees, what they are suggesting, because if the moon is too close to your object, it might interfere, especially if it's in a full moon. Okay, so be careful with that. You can check stellarium and see where your object is and how close the moon might be. Then we have the window. The window is just the date and time that you're going to tell the telescope to take the image. No. Okay. So this is saying that it's going to take the image, from today to tomorrow. That is the window, and which telescope might take the image. But you can go to visibility calculator. You write the coordinates and the date when you want to observe, and you get this information. So as you can see, all these colors are related to the telescopes located in different parts of the world. Okay, so as you can see, this object has a lot of time to be visible. Okay, and this blank means it's not visible from any telescope. Okay, so be careful with that. All times are UTC, so you must know the time difference. Okay, great. Once you know that, you can configure it here, the times, dates. Okay. Okay, once everything is green, means everything is okay in the form, you click submit request. So it says 2 minutes, 22 seconds of telescope time, but remember that we said, I want one image with 2 seconds exposure time. So why is it taking 2 minutes? Because the telescope must, search for your object and select the filter, and all that takes time. So be careful with that when you are programming your observation. You have to be careful. Okay. Once the observation, has been submitted and it has been completed, you just come to the portal to download the information. So here we have all the configuration, how long it took, when, the date and the time, okay. And here you click data and you can select your information. It says raw and reduce. Reduce is already have, some treatment, but you can download them raw or you can download them all here, or click the ones you want to download and download select. Then you can go and do your all your studies like curves or whatever you want to do. So I hope this has been helpful and see you next time.